I was talking to Shirley, and today is her birthday.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not me.
happy birthday! Yay!
Cheese.
This, oh, I was just gonna ask. Go. Sorry. Go ahead and lead us.
Seigu Yagi, Seigu
Segu Yagi. Segu
Seigu
Yagi.
Yagi, Seigu
Segu Yagi. I think we
Yagi.
need to practice that.
Okay, again, one more time.
All right. Go ahead and start.
You start.
Segu Yagi.
Yagi.
Segu Yagi.
Yagi,
Segu
Seigu
Yagi. Segu Yagi.
Yagi.
Oh, that was a little bit better. One more time. No, I'm just kidding.
Friend of cheese. My students used to sing it to different staff members at East High. And they always ended up, ja, in the Sean,
And Sean.
in the Sean. I always thought that was the greatest part of the song. Well, we were busy talking about medicine last week, and I felt like we haven't really finished it. So if there's any comments or questions, we can talk about it. If you had any experience in or have heard or seen the Zacht, which is the white man calls it Devil's Club, but our name for it is Zacht, pinched S-A-X-T.
We covered that one pretty thoroughly.
Yeah. It's really interesting that a plant like that, when you look at it, and there's so many of them, if you ever come to through the woods, don't try to take a shortcut through it because usually they're pretty dense. It's better to go around the plant. But it's they have determined that it's an herb, and a lot of times when we think about herbs, it's like a nice little green plant that goes in your plant box. But Zacht is an herb plant, such as it is, and it's the herb that it is Jensen herb, and I think that China has a similar. If it's China or somewhere, they have a similar plant that's related. That's called also has the name of being a Jensen plant. And when they heard about that plant that was used for healing and for use as medicine, the scientists quickly ran and took the plant and analyzed it for what the healing qualities are of the plant. They found none. They said it's not a healing plant at all. And the same thing happened with us when we tell about that plant and how it heals or cleanses. The the scientists took it to study it, and they came back with the same result, that it doesn't do anything, that there's no medicinal qualities to it at all. So, but what do they know? You know, we know best after years and years of using it and proving it over and over. My my best friend, her mother, she keeps a jar of the juice in the refrigerator. So if you go to visit her, you're going to have to drink a cup of that in order to stay in her house to visit. So she passes out the cups and pours and said, "Drink it." You know, you have to drink it. And I don't know how it's made because it's clear. So, but I do know that it it's this Jensen plant.
Did you talk about the spiritual qualities of the sacht as well? I know that here, like I keep some above my door, like you can see, like it's up there. I keep it. Um, that's for um, the spirits to keep the bad spirits out.
Yeah, I do know that uh, the men in seine boats in Huna used to keep that aboard their boats for that reason. I think that's the only thing I've ever heard about. So it was used in so many ways too. And when we worked on it in Angoon and took the bark to dry it, then you're left with the inner stick, which makes a wonderful, wonderful drumstick. So, you know, we just didn't let everything just go. But so I think there were other ways that it was used that I don't know about. I'd like to. I don't mind hearing about it. So, yeah, that is something I heard about too, because sometimes you're getting into a boat and there it is. The other thing that Corey and I were talking about was sexual theme, the tea.
I've got a picture of it on screen.
Yeah. If you don't know, it does grow here in Anchorage, and I don't know. I know it grows in the southeast, maybe further down to that where it grows, and it's a tea that was used for mainly. I heard mainly for colds and chest problems. So you keep it handy, especially during the winter. So we're discussing about how to collect it, and you have to wait until the first frost, and mainly that's because then the leaves are easier to pull off the plant. So then you can start collecting them. And they have to be really dry. You can't put them away with some moisture because it will mold. so it has to be quite dry like tea. But once it's really dry, then you can just keep it in a bag. So a lot of people collect it and give it out as gifts for people to say, here's a gift for you for a small bag of Hudson Bay tea.
Can this be harvested year round?
Yeah, it'll keep all year. Yeah, once it's dry. And the ways that it was prepared was you get a pot of water and let it boil, and then you what I like to do is let the water boil and then turn it off and drop the leaves in there and let it steep. For regular tea, it makes green tea. But there's other people that like to just boil it until it turns really brown. So it just depends on your taste and your desire of what you want to do with it. So
Yeah. Well, it has kind of a laxative effect if you drink too much, right?
yeah, I don't know. When I drink it, I just drink it like regular tea. But I think if you cook it, boil it, and it might have that because it's so strong if you boil it. So it might have that effect. But for regular tea, I drink it as a green tea. Yeah. So it's interesting to think about all these different things that we know and have used, and I think it's important to pass it on to the young people to be sure to be aware of it if they don't go out and take care of it. I was telling Corey that I was driving up the road here and I saw this huge field of uh, Hudson Bay tea. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to come back and uh, go in there and pick up after the frost to come back and collect some plants. And then out comes this lady walking with her dog. So, okay, cancel that one.
Oh.
So I didn't need to have my tea fertilized by the dogs. So get it on the hill somewhere. Okay, are there any comments or questions about all that I don't know about medication? But it's been an interesting discussion to do.
Thinking about like um things that we may not think of as medicine, but that are kind of medicinal. Think, for example, like fish head soup, and how that can help with the cold or flu, or maybe blueberries, how that can boost your immune system, anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was specifically pinpointed as something like that, but I do know one of the things that my mom used to say to me is don't eat berries without milk
Hmm.
because they're because I get a bowl and I just eat it. So she always says, put milk in it. And because the berries, the huckleberries and the berries that we pick in the Southeast have a lot of seeds. So that tends to stop you up. So that's why she always wanted to make sure I didn't just eat it by the handful, which I sometimes feel like doing. I know when we first started picking berries, most of the berries went into here. So I was sitting there, and she said, "Did you fill your can?" No. Looked at my can, kind of empty. She said, "You see all those cans and those buckets over there? That's ours." Yeah. She said, "We're not going home until they're all full." Boy, did I ever quit eating berries. So I wanted to get home to be with my friends. Yeah, we used to go. My mom was really diligent about getting that done. And sometimes she says, "Okay, we're going to go. Let's go. We got to go get berries." And I said, "Mom, it's raining." Oh, she said, "Oh, here's your raincoat." So uh, we went and got. I really enjoyed myself once I got there, though. Uh, I like doing that. So now I'm glad we brought up the subject of food, because the things that we had planned to do, if you looked at the schedule, is that we were supposed to do numbers, but I decided I think we needed to do a little more research on it in order to do what we wanted to accomplish. So I want us this week to start on touching here and there about traditional food uh, ways of using it, eating it. So um, it is something that our family did and worked really hard at. So I know a lot about the ways that the food was done. So uh, I think I want to start with the spoons. I think I have some spoons here.
Oh,
These,
wow.
I think I have more than one. These are made of horns, and the ones you see in the museum on the handles are really carved, and they're made for show. But these are in. If you could look at this, have actually have initials, and when I had this, it was a set of three spoons like this, and the third one was pure black, just depending on what color the horn was when they started working on it. And somebody stole it. But when the uh, silverware was introduced and they saw a spoon, they said, "This is called the shut." And it's an L that stands alone, so it's shut.
Shucks.
Yeah. So these have initials on it. Whoever owned it, there's different initials on each one. And and I felt so bad. I never expected anybody to be stealing my things. So I was really felt really bad when the black one was gone. But I've seen these when I was uh, growing up, and they had the parties. And when they come to the house to invite you to the party, they say the the ravens are inviting the eagles to a party. So that, please come, uh, bring a bag, uh, a, a spoon, and dishes and cups and jars and things that you want to save and put away and bring home. So you get a bag, some kind of bag. Usually, the ones that we had were not shopping bags or anything like that. It was from rice or from some other thing like that. Then you just put everything in there that you're going to use when you go to the party. They'll have all the food, but they don't have uh, uh, things to give you to eat out of. So you have to make sure you have everything of your own. And what's nice about it is you take home all your dirty dishes, so the people that's having the party uh, don't have to worry about about washing all those dishes. But this is called shot, and it's actually not a spoon in the same sense that like you scoop up something. It's actually a bowl of food. They put the food in and you eat it. Now I've seen it so many times that people would have these spoons, and they would use their fingers to eat the meat or whatever it is that, and then you can drink the what's left in there. So these were pretty handy, and you have to keep them nice and clean. So each time you use it, it's all clean. So the ones that you see at the museum, you'll see them have beautiful carved handles. Um, but like for just regular use, you have this. And I'm not even sure who gave it to me, uh, but I have that.
Can you spell the name of that again, please?
Shal. Shal.
Shah.
I think it's a high tone A, but I can't do it in the chat.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. And the L is the silent L. Shal.
Sheesh.
Don't even know what these are. This was in my collection of things, but wanted to show some baskets. And a lot of these baskets were used for either sewing or uh, serving food or keeping food. So this one, you couldn't put any liquids in it because it's loosely, it's woven loosely. But uh, it really amazes me. Like I've seen the women making these. I never tried it. I don't know. Do we have any weavers who make these? Start in the middle here in the bottom, and then you build it up, and as big as you want it, then you have to start turning it into the sides, so that as the weaver keeps going to make it the size that they want. And sometimes they put a really beautiful design, or sometimes just little or no design. That's that one.
Yeah, I did a weaving class they had down here in Seattle. It was really good.
Did you make a basket?
Yeah, I made a basket. I gave it to a friend who I don't have it to show. I gave it to a friend whose grandma used to weave, and he said he hadn't got a Christmas gift in 20 years. I was like, all right, sounds like you're getting a Christmas gift.
Oh,
I know this one, the weaving is really close compared to this, that if you, it'd be like a sieve if you put fluids in there. This one, I don't think was made to hold water either, but it's a tighter weave, and these baskets were more common for the women to make. And what amazes me is the dyes that they used are so permanent. I mean, as old as this basket is, and I think someone gave it to me because it has it's kind of broken on the edge. But if there's I don't know if there's any other colors on this, but this, the ladies would have to split. They split the this for weaving with their teeth, and they always have a bowl of water, and as they work, they dip their finger into the water to keep the moisture on what they're using for weaving, because it was easier to weave if they had that. So if anybody that's a weaver there and know a little more than I do, you can speak up and tell us. But this
They were
is
teaching spray bottles last time. Use a spray bottle and spray the whole thing while you're working with it.
I don't know if they used spray bottles. They had bowls, wooden bowls that they had water in, and they would. I think they split what they're weaving as they need it, because they don't want to do a whole bunch in advance because they dry out. I think before I had some of that stuff that was somebody started to weave, it was really brittle. So let's get that way. The ones that were really attractive to the tourists is the ones that have covers. And at the Smithsonian, they have this, they're a little bit wider and lower. They're not as high, but they have a lid that fits, and a knob that's woven at the top, and the top rattle. And I thought, oh, that's really neat. After I inquired into it, I found it's not seeds, it's not rocks, because rocks would be too heavy, and also it would not be sound that good. it was uh, gallstones from sea lions.
Oh,
They took that and put it inside to rattle, and it was, since they were smooth, you know, and it made it really a nice little sound that they liked, and so that's what they. If you see one in a museum, or if you see one somewhere where the top rattles, and it's a good one, that's probably what it is.
ah, Lekutsi.
Yeah.
Do you know the name for the blanket name for the baskets, please?
Uh, I don't know
I,
how that.
I think it's cuck, right?
How,
I think it
Cuck,
was in our textbook,
if I'm not
in our
mistaken.
book. If I'm not lazy, I could probably find it.
Huck is for collecting berries.
Sakun and Weaver, she can probably
Yeah,
tell.
here. I took my class to the museum, went into the curator. I knew the curator really well, so he used to invite us, and he took us to the basement to show us some things that they had no idea what it was for. And in a big drawer, he pulled out this big, it's about that big, a kind of not flat, but just a little curve to it. And the center of it was really dark. They said they couldn't figure out what was it for? What was it used for? I knew right away. It's for getting berries. You get that big flat uh, woven basket. You put it under the branches, and you have a stick, and you can just hit the branches, and the berries fall into the basket. And so after a few of those, when you shake the whole basket, all the leaves and the twigs will kind of come to the top. So you just take it and throw it out. It won't be perfect, but usually they did that for making jam and stuff like that, where it doesn't matter that you have perfect berries. Instead of picking it the way my mom made me do it, one at a time like this, pick them. But using that, you can, the center of the basket, it was really well used and dark. So I thought, what is this for? So yeah, it was for collecting berries and using sticks, flat sticks.
I was just going through the dictionary, and I saw Kadadza Yate, and that's the basket used to collect berries by knocking them off the bush. That's what it says. Kadadza Yate.
Gedanza, yeah. Yeah. But it might be really important to have one for soap berries, because soap berries you can't pick those. You would have popped berries all over your hands. So in order to get it, you have to use the stick to get it off the branches. Although I think for soap berries, when it's the berries are still green, you can pick it by hand. The men used to sometimes go and just sit and pick a small handful, And when you beat it up, instead of turning pink, it turns white with the green berries. Does anybody like the soap berries? Everybody have experience with it? Nobody?
I've had them one time and they were very unique, very tart, and the elders loved them.
Yeah, you take a tablespoon full of the berries, mash it up, and add a cup of water, cold water, and beat that up. But you add sugar and bananas, or
Ooh.
yeah, very tasty.
Mm.
You drive down towards Haines, you get on the highway, and we could smell that the soap berries. Said, oh, I want to stop and get some.
Mm.
Always in a hurry though. They only grow where there used to be glaciers. So, let's see. There's a lot of places in Glacier Bay that where you can get those berries. Yeah, we used to go and collect those. Takes a lot of time because it's very small berries. But my friend and I were picking and in a nice sunny day. So we were tired and also thirsty. So we started mashing the berries in our hand and rubbing it real hard, real fast. And it foams up like the berries are supposed to. We just lick it off our hands and it just tastes, it was really good. Instead of trying to look for water, it was really good to have it. Okay, I wanted you to look at some boxes, and these boxes are usually on display at the museum, and I think Corey has a couple of photos that you can look at. If you've been to the museum, you're probably familiar with it.
I found one photo earlier. I've got it on screen now.
Beautiful.
Aren't they beautiful? They're so
Wow.
wonderful. To look at. Yeah, these, I kind of suspect that they started making these boxes just because the tourists really liked them and they got bigger and bigger, but they are the bent wood boxes. And the Southeast people were great at making bent wood boxes where only one corner is attached. They steam the board and make it into a box, and just try to do that and get a square box. Hard to do. I tried it. That's how come I know. But it was really commonly seen when you go to the museum. It's very likely that the biggest display will be these carved boxes like that. And way back in the corner somewhere, almost out of sight, is a small square box with red corners. And I have an example here. This is the size that is usual with the red corners. And the museum is not really that interested in displaying them, but if they have one, they will kind of shove it off somewhere in a corner. But I don't think they realize how valuable it is. These are bentwood boxes. It's attached only in one corner. And my dad used to make these during the winter because we really made use of it. They were pretty solid and also doesn't leak. You put oil, fill it up with oil, you won't have any problems with leaking. So the things that we preserved in oil were things like berries. I remember they used to put blueberry, any berry that's solid, like blueberries, will be preserved in the seal oil. And what's wonderful about it is the vitamins from the berries is not destroyed; it was preserved. And we had a spoon like this, but it had a holes in it. So here's the berries with the oil, scoop it up and let it drain and put it in the bowl. So what would happen to these boxes is they would get used up. They weren't that good again to put any other kind of food in it. So my dad had to make a bunch of every year, every winter. He would get these boards and start making boxes, so that we had a lot of fresh boxes to use for in the summer. But this one was given to me, and I don't know who gave it to me. I can't remember. But when you look at the cover, that fits really well. It's split. It's probably why, because it's stapled together. And the inside of the box is pretty dry. So whatever was stored in here before was probably some dry goods of some kind, maybe somebody's sewing box or toolbox or something. The string on the outside of it, and I really try to preserve it, is I've seen my mom do this. And she would take the string and measure it by her hand like this, and get it all set. Then turn the box upside down and start in the middle and start tying it off, so that these knots, I've shown it to other people, they can't figure out what kind of knots it is. But by the time she finished with using the string, there's not a lot left. There's on the corners, these loops on the corners. There would be one on each corner, and then she would have a long one to tie it off and hold the lid in real tight, and so the animals can't get into it. We had a food cache under our house where we kept the food. So the meats, um, different kinds of things that had to be stored in the seal oil were used, but with these boxes. So these were really, really important box, and I imagine this one was made for somebody to store things in, and really nicely tied. So I think it really helps to have that. Do you have any comments or questions, or you know somebody that makes them?
You know how they were made a little bit?
Didn't know how, what?
Do you know how your dad used to make the boxes, how he would bend the wood?
Yeah, yeah. You have to score, take the board, the flat board, and score it where it's gonna bend. And he didn't use any tools. He had a stick, and he would hold it measured this way, and that way. And so that's how he measured it. So it was something that I saw him do quite a bit. So it was easy to um, for me to tell about it because I saw how it was done. But it's harder to do. So excuse me, please.
While she's gone, I do have some related modern knowledge about not technically bentwood boxes, but the exact same technique is used in aerospace these days. I did like I did like vehicle design for my major, and we did a vehicle made out of some aluminum honeycomb panels, like a flat aluminum plate on the bottom, and then some thin honeycomb looking foil and another flat aluminum plate. And in order to bend it, we'd have to cut slats on the inner plate, and then bend it in a very similar way as you would a bentwood box. You don't have to soak it, of course, because it's aluminum, but there's all kinds of math involved where how wide the cuts have to be and how far apart they are and such like that in order to get a certain radius bend. But it's still used to this day in aerospace. There's like weird technological documents that tell you exactly how to do it for different kinds of bends and different strengths and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Look at you. From my understanding, everybody has their own way of steaming the boxes, and it's like a close guarded secret. And so I know somebody that uses an old washing machine for their steaming unit. Or it's an old dishwasher to steam their bentwood boxes.
Oh, that doesn't sound very tradish.
It's very
Uh,
indigenous, really.
Shucks, Keek, I apologize. I clicked the mute button from my computer, but it won't let me unmute you. So you are muted, but it's not letting me undo that. I didn't know that would happen. I thought I could undo that. So if someone could unmute your computer, please. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Oh no.
Shirley, is someone able to unmute your computer?
they need to click a button on your side to unmute your mic, Shirley. Don't we just love technology?
Sometimes it works too well.
I've got a YouTube video up on this dude making a bentwood box.
Mm.
I don't think it's very traditional or anything, but I think it probably gives at least one method. I can share it here.
I put the link for a video in the chat earlier too. If anybody wants to check out this video later, Helen Watkins, who was an elder from Cluckman, I believe, it shows her out gathering Devil's Club and working on it in her kitchen and talking about it and some of the health benefits and stuff. I think
Oh,
it's
awesome.
maybe about a half hour long, so not really for class, but it's a good video to watch if anyone's interested.
Goodness. Cheese.
Does she make salve and stuff with it? I think I might have seen it as her
Yeah,
husband.
yeah. So in at the start of the video, she's with her husband. They're gathering
Oh yeah.
the socks and stuff, and then she's in her kitchen for a part of it, making salve, and then at the end she grinds it with the coffee grinder. I think she makes powder with it.
I logged in a little late. Could you resubmit that link to the chat, please?
Sure. Yeah. Give me a second. Let me find it.
Goodness cheese. Yay, we're unmuted, Shirley. Goodness cheese.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting to talk about modern day methods that are developed. And I heard about somebody making these from actual horns, and they had to boil it for hours in vinegar. And the solution was vinegar or something, I don't know. I heard about it.